Page 7, Snug as a bug in a rug. We don't really have too much new here going on. It's the same position as the previous piece. If you look at the notes, you find in the right hand, the top staff, it starts, the first note is with the thumb, the number 1. So if you put your thumb on that, you just put the other fingers on the others and you've got it. 5-finger position, that's where the right hand goes. The left hand doesn't come in until the second measure. But if you look at it, it's the 3rd finger on that first note, and that first note is an E. You knew that already, right? It's an E. If you do that, you put the other fingers on the other keys. That's where the left hand goes. So this is a C position because the bottom note in each hand is a C. It's a 5-finger position because we're using 5 fingers on the keys next to each other for each hand. That's where the hands go. Now this one again has phrasing in the right hand. The first 2 measures are phrased, and then the next 2, and it's like every 2 measures is a phrase. Remember, you lift your right hand up and put it back down so we get a little bit of silence between the phrases. In the left hand, we get rests every other measure. So it's like that first measure in the left hand for the bottom staff. That's just a little box. Well, that's called a whole rest. It's like a whole note, except you have to be quiet. And it gets 4 counts. The whole note would get 4 counts, or 4 quarter notes. So a whole rest gets the same. You know, each note has a corresponding rest. Right? So quarter note would get a quarter rest, a whole note gets a whole rest, a half note gets a half rest, blah, blah, blah. You get it all. The point is, in the left hand, in the first measure, you got to be quiet for 4 counts, which is the whole measure. But then it can play in the next measure. So to do the first 2 measures for you, it's like this. Now notice that I kept the right hand in the second measure. That's a whole note. I'm going to hold it down for 4 counts as I'm playing these notes in the left hand. It's important. So you have to count out very carefully. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember the 4/4 time signature we talked about before. At the bottom of the page, they talk about music and poetry. Well, that's all nice, wonderful. You read all about that. I'm not into all that stuff. But if you're into music and poetry, by all means, you just dive right into there and have a ball. I'd like to play this Snug as a Bug in a Rug together with you slowly so we can make sure you got the right notes and the right rhythms. You're playing things at the right time. I'm going to give us 4 counts and we'll play it together. So your right hand goes here, left hand goes here, and even though the left hand doesn't play the first measure, go ahead and put it up on the keyboard so it's ready to go. We want both hands up there so they are ready to go. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.